Present. Fire! Huzzah!
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 Present. Fire!
With construction commencing in 1762, Proprietary House was built for the purpose of housing a British royal governor for the colony of New Jersey. Located in the capital city of Perth, Amboy, Proprietary House remains the last surviving official royal governor's mansion out of the original 13 colonies. From an architectural standpoint, Proprietary House combines elements of both English Georgian and American federal styles. The elegant construction is reflected in the high sandstone foundation, the belt and string courses, fine colonial brickwork with heavy keystone lintels over the windows. Elliptical leaded fan lights over the doorways add a graceful feature. This historic building attracted many famous people, and here lived the last royal governor, William Franklin. Benjamin Franklin, William's father, was a frequent visitor. In the days prior to the American Revolutionary War, the Franklin family became divided. Benjamin visited Proprietary House in attempts to convince William to join the Patriot cause. Benjamin's arguments did not persuade William. William remained loyal to King George III.
Mrs. Nanton, it is indeed a pleasure to have you here in my home. And I am particularly excited about the reason for your visit because, quite frankly, there are things that need attention.
I agree, Governor.
This room that you're in, for example, has seen quite a bit of history. Apart from various historical figures and members of the General Assembly of New Jersey, my father and I had quite a few rows in this very room in these very chairs, where he tried to get me to join the rebel cause, but I was loyal to King George. God save the King, pro rege et patria.
One of the problems that we have is the exterior walls. All the brick needs to be repointed. The moisture is actually coming right through the walls, and we couldn't fathom putting up wallpaper because it wouldn't adhere to the walls right now because of the moisture. All of the mortar between the bricks is disappearing, and the bricks really need to be repointed, and it needs to be painted on the exterior, which takes quite a bit of money, and the volunteers don't have the skills to do that. We need to raise the funds in order to do that. Until we do that, we can't replace the wallpaper that was here when you lived here because it won't adhere to the walls because of the moisture.
Well, I'm friendly with a number of members of the General Assembly. Just go down and ask them. They certainly will be willing to unloose their purse and protect what is a treasure.
Perhaps under a monarchy, Governor, that was a lot easier.
There are a number of things that this treasure requires in order to stay extant. And I'm really hoping that you and people of goodwill can help keep this treasure alive. Will you help? Come with me, Mrs. Nanton. I have much to show you.
Problems are developing. The front steps are crumbling and are no longer safe. Presently, water leaches through these cracks, soaking the facade foundation. Mortar has been eroded away. Professional restoration work is now necessary. For over 200 years, Proprietary House has been painted. This is not unusual, as many historic brick homes were painted early on in their lives. But in modern times, the paint has flaked off, exposing the colonial brickwork along with the original oyster shell mortar to wear and tear. Colonial bricks were kiln-fired, producing a hard outside skin with a softer porous inside. Here the tough skin is gone, leaving the soft part of the brick exposed to the elements. Cracking, crazing, flaking, and spalling are becoming serious problems. Throughout the centuries, this historic official governor's mansion has survived, whereas those from the other 12 colonies did not. Even the one in colonial Williamsburg is only a modern reconstruction. Proprietary House is original.
Now this room, Mrs. Nanton, is more closely allied with what it was like when I was here. You'll notice that everything is in perfect condition, from the floors to the silverware, to the flatware, to the walls, to the rugs. Everything is where it's supposed to be. How did this room get the treatment that the rest of the house deserves?
Well, actually, Governor, there's a very good reason for that. The Proprietary House Association trustees and volunteers have restored this room with over 4,000 hours of their own personal time to bring this back to the decor that you so enjoyed when you lived here. 40,000 hours of volunteerism, plus volunteers who have written grants, our own fundraising efforts through the Proprietary House Association. As a matter of fact, all the windows that we will look through have been restored through a matching grant from 1772 Foundation, and we're very grateful for that, but we also had to match that grant. So the house itself, the Proprietary House Association, the volunteers have all not only physically restored this room, but also raised the funds to start the restoration of the exterior with the windows. But unfortunately, the repointing and the painting, we need professional help. We don't have the skill set to do that.
Well, seeing the results of what hard work and funds can do, I can only hope that the rest of my home will be so appointed as this room is.
Furnished with 18th and 19th century artifacts, along with its restored walls and ceilings, this dining room represents the stylistic elegance of a time long gone. Unfortunately, this room will soon show signs of decay as the exterior brickwork is crumbling. Sections of oyster shell mortar have eroded away. The mortar deterioration is caused by moisture penetration. Erosion via the natural forces of wind, rain, and ice, combined with man-made pollution, can be significantly reduced by way of professional priming and painting. Proper repointing with a matching lime-based mortar is needed where sections of mortar have dissolved. This will also ease the spalling problem, where the outer layers of masonry have unevenly broken off. One of the most interesting rooms within Proprietary House is the vault. Constructed in 1762, the vault supports the upper floors. While the vault remains stable for now, it too is in danger of being compromised from the exterior walls. This in turn would affect the rooms above.
Mrs. Nanton, this room is one which I infrequently inhabited because it was designed for my servants and my staff. This is where they had their meals, and this is where they socialized, as they were not allowed upstairs unless they were summoned. But I doubt that today anyone would want to socialize in this room. My word, what happened to this place?
Oh, Governor, it was tragic. We had some squatters on the 4th floor of this building, and they allowed the pipes to freeze, and the pipes burst, and we had torrential water coming down right through the middle of this room for hours. All of the trustees showed up. We had a bucket brigade to try and remove as much water as we possibly could, but you can see from the condition of the walls, everything, the dampness that is down here, I think your poor servants would probably have mold growing on them at this rate. So this is another reason why we need help.
That can't be too healthy.
It's very unhealthy.
How can one eat a steak and kidney pie in a place like this?
So we need the money for the restoration of this room itself. We have an estimate for about $12,000 to restore this plaster ceiling, which is one of the original plaster ceilings, and to serve some kind of sealant on these walls.
$12,000?
I'm not sure what that is in English pounds.
Precisely. Probably about 22,000 pounds, which I don't have. But you may.
Proprietary House is an original monument to American history. This house and its grounds were occupied by both American Patriot forces and the British Army. It is where American General Hugh Mercer and British General William Howe made battle plans. This historic structure reflects a personal side of the battle for American independence. Here, a son must decide what to do, that is, to remain loyal to England or to become an American patriot. And even more personal, William Franklin must decide whether to support King George III or his famous father, Benjamin Franklin. And as in many wars, a family becomes divided. Within Proprietary House, Royal Governor William Franklin is arrested by American Patriot troops. William and his father will never fully reconcile. Your sponsorship and donations are needed to ensure this historic building survives for future generations. Please consider supporting Proprietary House Association, a nonprofit organization. Your support is tax deductible.